This meeting will come to order. Welcome, everyone. April 1st, a little bit after 7, Southwood Conservation Commission meeting. We are in hybrid here at the town hall. We're going to introduce ourselves. We'll start over here. Dennis, we can go around the circle.
Dennis Clark, Andy Reardon, Norm Shiver,
Chris Pratt.
Jerry Patria, Kevin Solar.
All right. And welcome everyone else. Do we have anybody who has public comment tonight? In the crowd? Online? Okay. We will start with our first RDA. You have the piece of paper, the
Oh.
hearing notice. Thank you very much. The Southwood Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, General Law C 131, Section 40 of the Southwood Conservation Commission Regulations by law, Chapter 182 and Chapter 450 for requests for determination. The project location is 34 Iroquois Drive. Proposed project is for removal and replacement of the concrete wall, stairs, and patio, in addition to the installation of a new paver walkway alongside the house. A portion of the work is located within 100 feet of Congamon Lake. All right, you guys can come on up.
Well, thank everybody for their time. My name is Richard Zito.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Could you introduce yourself and spell your name for me, please?
Okay, my name's Richard Zito, Z-I-T-O. I work for the Green Machine as a design project manager. My bachelor's is in architecture. And basically, I've been working with Joe for planning the replacement of these walls. I don't know if everybody's looked through the packet. Should I go through the whole packet in terms of?
Well, you can just give it a narrative of
Okay,
that
so
and people can follow along. You have the packet.
Yeah, I've got your stuff, so if you just tell me what you want.
All right.
Scope of work?
Yeah.
Is that what you're looking at?
yeah, so
Okay.
everybody's familiar with the site location, the 34 Iroquois Drive. And then, so basically the proposed work is there's an existing failing concrete wall, so we're gonna replace it with engineered block walls. And then replace existing concrete stairs with an existing patio with granite steps and new pavers. You can expand the patio approximately 200 square feet. Installation of a new walkway from the patio to the driveway. So the existing wall is approximately 24 feet long by 6 feet tall. We're gonna replace it with 2 new block walls, approximately 3 feet to separate them. The second wall will be further from the water. The first wall will be in the existing footprint of the wall. Basically, follow all standard building techniques, remove subsoils, installation of 3/4 inch trap rock bait for the base and behind the walls. Other materials on site would include fabric, geogrid, drainage pipe, and then any other manufacturer specifications. On the next page 3 shows the existing site. And like I had stated, where the first new wall will be where the existing wall is. And on that date, when I measured where the existing water line was, the existing wall is approximately 28.5 feet away from the water line. And then so we have plenty of room to set up our silt fence approximately 10 feet from the actual water line. Just the next couple pages are just kind of really showing how the wall's failing.
That's better late than never, my man.
So.
So that. Yeah. And then so you have two more cracks here. And just, any day with vegetation pushing it, just making it worse every year. Same thing, page 7, just really seeing how it's bowing out now. And there's another close up of how it's pretty much starting to lean forward. And then this is kind of an example of a double wall we did in Simsbury, Connecticut. And then that's what the granite steps look like. This project will be a little different, but it kind of gives you an idea. There will be a planting bed in between the two walls. Won't be a flat grade like this existing. There will actually be there'll be a slope to it, but gives it kind of a good generalization. And then the next page, just showing kind of like how the patio looks on top. And then sometimes just how we'll have to turn the walls. On page 11 is just showing the existing patio on site, which is 324 square feet. It's basically the same thing. We'll use standard building practices, removing approximately 12 inches of subsoils, and then small process compacting that, stone dust, and the pavers. The proposed to expand approximately 10 feet by 20 feet, so it'd be 200 square feet bigger. And then also a 55-foot long by 42-foot, 42-inch wide walk path from the patio to the driveway. The existing pavers that are on site are planned to be used for the actual walkway, so they won't be new pavers.
Okay.
And then on page 11, kind of just the showing where the new pavers will be. And then you can kind of see on that one where the corner of the existing wall is. So you imagine the new wall, and then approximately 3 feet back will be where the second wall is, where the patio ends. And you'll still have a planting bed in between. And then just kind of a generalization of the path that will come off the corner of the house and then go to the existing driveway area. Just another picture of kind of what the walkway, similar pavers of what the walkway would look like.
I don't know if I have this picture.
Page 14.
One more down,
This is 14.
15.
Oh.
That one?
Okay, then this one actually, I might have taken this one actually. Might be an old print.
That's fine.
I think I
If they-
didn't
if
find
they-
it
if they
significant
didn't
enough,
care.
so I removed it from the general, the general packet. Yeah, so then, so narrative, basically the granite steps. 16 4-foot wide by 13-inch deep by 7-inch riser granite steps will be installed. Same thing with the following manufacturer specifications for installing with the removal of the subsoils and then using small process and compacting that in stone dust. Picture 1 is the existing stairs, and then picture 2 is the just an example of granite steps that Green Machine installed on Middle Pond. Page 17 is the site map, kind of showing where the existing patio is, existing deck, the new footprint of the patio, stairs, and then the walls, and then where the walkway will go, and then noting where the silt fence is installed. Included on page 18 is just a list of the equipment that we use, showing our medium-sized excavator is under 8,000 pounds, mini excavators around 3,500 pounds, little track machine, again, around 7,500 pounds, and then our mini loader is at just over 6,800 pounds, just showing that they're all small equipment under 10,000 pounds, so it's not really heavy machinery. And then just the specifications of the silt fence that we typically use. And then the last couple pictures are of jobs that we've done on Middle Pond, showing the metal stairs that the homeowner had. And then this was like a complete site overhaul, working with the town of Suffield. And the granite steps and the wall block. And
I don't know where I am now.
next page. Yeah, right
Oh,
there.
okay.
There's the granite steps and the wall blocks. And then another project on South Pond, basically 21 of, actually my numbers. Yeah, so basically just total site renovation, walls, granite steps. This was landscaping too, installation. And then the next page showing the just the bank and then the granite steps, how when they were installed. And then The next one is a project in Middle Pond on the Southwick side in Berkshire. We did the seawall installation, the granite steps into the water, the flagstone patio, the sod, and then we did the base for the actual wall blocks, but the homeowner found these walls were prefabbed out of a company outside Boston on this old house. And so we actually were hired to carry them down. They didn't want to carry them down, but their guys did all the shimming on the base materials that we installed. And then another one where these basically tire-filled concrete steps going down to the water. We removed those and then installed granite steps going down. And then one more seawall that we did in North Pond.
Where was that one?
North Pond. I guess, and then if anybody has any questions.
This is, you're working in the floodplain? Is that what it says on there?
Yeah,
Floodplain map.
the floodplain map.
Is it legal to do work in a floodplain without a notice of intent?
Well,
It's a resource area.
right, so I did put down, for performance standards. So. As far as like figuring out if an RDA would be a positive determination, and then you would need a notice of intent, it is written down that it's not located in the flood zone.
That would make all difference.
That is
There's no
our,
alteration either, which made me
But if
think,
it's in the floodplain, it's in a resource area and it has to have a notice of intent.
it's up to you.
As far as that's what I've always understood, what we've always done. Is it actually in the floodplain? We don't.
He has the work right here in red, I believe, right?
yeah,
Looks
That's
like
the
a good
elevation.
project and everything, but.
And this is a subject that I said would come up probably to me when we were on the site the other day. Your brother was there.
Yeah, I had some travel delays and I was-
Working in a resource area.
Well, that maybe the commission may want to most intent
Right.
an RDA.
I'm pretty sure we don't have a choice in that matter.
What exactly is the notice of intent?
Everything you got there except in a different format. You've done that before.
I have.
right? Did almost exactly what you have there, except a different format. Able to issue order conditions and
Yeah.
post a bond and stuff like that.
You know, one of the things that I mentioned on the site was the location of the silt fence should go further to the left there, because where you're bringing the equipment in,
Yeah,
that lawn will get eaten up pretty fast, so you're gonna get the silt fence
yeah,
to cover that area. But I agree, it probably needs a notice of intent.
John, do you know? Have you ever heard of anybody doing work in the floodplain on their RDA?
legally.
In cases. But I think your inclination, Dennis, is correct.
Okay, so you make a motion to
Find it positive.
find a positive, come back with a notice of intent. But I mean, the plan seems like a sound plan. Does anybody have any recommendations that they should probably file in their NOI or do anything different?
Yeah.
Very
It's
thorough.
good.
So I mean,
Good job.
Just a different
it's a
format.
different
it's
form, the
just
state, basically the state will review it, just to make sure everything's in order.
oh,
So it goes through the state.
okay, so it's
Before it
the
comes
bigger
through,
one,
they'll-
it's not
and
the,
They'll send us comments
yeah,
and then we'll take those in consideration. We'll let you, know beforehand, of course.
so then,
So you can address certain issues if there are any.
I guess, cause it's what, there's too much changing to existing, is that why?
No, it's just because of where it's located.
Yeah,
You're not changing really anything.
no, that's
existing.
why, yeah,
Yeah, so that's why that was the question at the beginning. Of, do we think it does? But yes,
No, the
just
work
because of
outside
where
the
it is.
floodplain could be done under an RDA, but the wall itself is what's in the floodplain?
The wall, yeah.
Mhm. Just that one wall.
So, well,
Where's the floodplain? It looks like everything is in it. This is the 100-year,
That whole gray area,
this whole blue.
all the way up to the end of the house?
Yeah,
Well, so the whole project is,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
But I thought that was more because if you were affecting the actual floodplain, like if you're building a wall on the
and I think if you're
water.
doing any work in the floodplain,
land subject to flooding is what
yeah.
the. But, I don't know, you could, those floodplain maps might not be exactly correct, but. It's gonna be in the floodplain where you're working, so
Yeah.
yeah, should do that, so.
And
Yeah,
even
I'll
though
make-
you're building out on your patio at the top, you
Yeah.
might have to show how much material you're adding to that elevation.
Yeah.
But you're also taking some away, you're stepping the wall down, so you might have some compensatory storage from doing that step down to the other wall.
Yeah.
So that's the volume of material that you're
Yeah.
adding to that floodplain. But the whole thing, I didn't realize the whole project was in the floodplain.
Yeah, I got that map like last week, I think.
Updated 2012, the floodplain map, so.
Yeah, that's off of the Southwick site. The FEMA website was having issues last week or so. You go on.
Try to, it's a FEMA website. see
It
if they
was updated in 2013.
So, all right,
I guess so in terms of, for next process, it's just filling those forms out with the state and then resubmitting them.
correct. Refile.
Okay.
All right. We have a motion?
Motion to find a positive.
So I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Jerry, aye. Aye.
And Matt, say it out loud.
Aye.
Okay.
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous. So it'll have to be refiled. So we don't need a continuation, I don't think, because it's gonna be filed under an NOI, is that,
Right,
so,
Okay.
and if we get comments back from DEP, you'll find out ahead of time so that you can address those issues.
Yeah.
You know, but keep in mind the amount of material going in and the amount of material coming out,
Yeah.
all right? All righty,
Okay.
Looks like a big project on nice
Yeah.
preparation.
no, it looks like a good plan to me. So.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Okay,
Next thing.
okay, we got some new business.
You do the minutes?
We didn't do them yet, no. They're in there. We didn't do them yet. We have a donation from Citizens Restoring Congamon
what's not from?
for,
So this is asking, do we want to donate money to Citizens Restoring Congamon and how
We've
much?
been doing that previous years
We definitely did it last year and I think you guys have done it previously.
for a long
for
time.
for like $100, so,
Hmm.
if you want to vote on that,
well, how is our budget right now, Sabrina?
how is our budget right now?
Or look-
Jan?
Is it looking healthy at the end of the year here?
Thinking yes.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to go forward with the donation.
What did we give last year? 200?
200,
I
was
think it was 100.
No, it's always been 100.
100?
it? 200. Make a motion for 100.
I'll second that.
okay, all in favor? All around again?
Andy, aye.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Lynette, aye.
Jerry, aye. Kevin, aye.
Excellent. Unanimous again. Okay, we have a request for LTP dock variance at 5258 Lakemont Street.
You guys have the what is it, a request, application in your folders?
You can just state your name,
Good.
John, and
Uh,
address.
John Sine, 52 Lakemont Street.
All right,
So this is for, so
John has an order of conditions on the project that allows him to keep the bulk of the dock in. We're here tonight just for the
the other part.
end piece, the piece of, at the end of the dock.
Yeah, it's on over the water.
And he'd like to you'd like to keep that in?
Yeah, it works. The ice is not affecting it and it actually works out well because then I don't have to drag it through the vegetation. It can stay there. It's an aluminum Shoremaster dock, so it's
Mhm.
never gonna deteriorate. Other than the wood planking, which I replace when it needs to
It's
be.
never floated away. and-
Oh, God, no, no. No, it sits on those legs, those feet.
Mhm.
So, but when you take it out, you're dragging it through all the root systems. So I'd rather not do it. It's, and it doesn't, it's in that cove, so it doesn't really even come out that far, even though it is a long dock.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
I put
Very
those,
familiar.
I put the cones on the end.
You See any issues with it, Norm? Is it like, management see any issues with that?
I don't think there's an issue. I don't know if I saw reflective.
Well, there's tape and there's cones. I mean, the cones are off right now. They're on the end, they're on the other side of the dock
Yeah,
now.
they don't need to be there now.
No.
As long as they're there, I don't think so.
Yeah, I put them right on the corners and I actually put reflective tape on the main horizontal beam.
Okay, and that is one of our stipulations that we can accept for variance, you know, especially if it's gonna cause damage to vegetation.
This, every year, is he gonna have to reapply for the?
Well, it is a yearly
Yeah.
application, so.
Yeah, so I was confused on that because I thought it was like the tall dock.
Order conditions as it, you know, for good, for the.
Yeah, that's
Right.
all set.
Right.
The
Okay.
end piece is a little bit different because that wasn't under the original order of conditions.
Actually it was.
The end
But-
piece was?
Yeah, the whole thing was, the order of conditions was the tall part, it's 30 feet long, goes
Mhm.
up 6 feet up over the vegetation,
Right,
comes down, it's a 100-foot long dock. That
Right.
was always part of it. The thing is taking the tall part out, we decided we'd leave it in there.
right.
But I thought, and then the short one I would drag out every year. But then we decided to leave it in. I thought it was forever, like the tall one, but I guess not. So,
Oh, I wasn't
Okay.
sure.
I-
Do we have the order of conditions on that somewhere?
It is somewhere, and I read it, and I think it
Okay.
is just the tall part that's permanent.
there was a
That's why-
variance put on the
Yeah.
tall part.
Yeah.
The order of conditions
Yeah.
was always to come out. And I
Right,
would take it out. And then the tall part, we decided it was doing so much damage that we just leave it in
Yeah.
there. And then that was a variance.
What was the variance?
And that was, that wasn't part of the original order of conditions.
Oh.
So that's why I was thinking that this variance
Would
would be permanent as well. That's why I was thinking that.
a
That's
dumb-
why I never really applied. Now I've saved the application in my computer, so.
yeah, I mean,
I mean, if you guys wanted to apply for every year, I can do it.
it's not that hard to do. We'll look into the legality of it because
Sure.
it's an LPP and LPP is a yearly
Mhm.
application.
Yeah.
So we'll check
keep
in.
it that
Which
we'll check
I
into
do
that.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
I-
check into.
I actually
Do it
pay for the-
anyway,
Right.
I do it anyway, whether it
Yeah,
stays in or
it's
out.
just another little piece of paper,
Sure.
you know what I mean? And as far as I can see, I don't have a problem with it, you know what I mean? But as far as if we can make it part of the original order.
Well,
Or
it's
an
actually
addendum
the variance order, because there's a variant. Yeah, it wasn't part of the original one that came in 2001
Yeah.
or two. It was a long time ago.
I remember, I was,
Yeah.
Barely.
Well, Dick was the one that helped me,
Yeah.
you know,
we
get
looked
everything.
at the spacing of the planks and all that stuff at the time.
Yeah.
To let enough light get through
Mhm.
the
Well,
plant
we'd rather have you
vegetation.
do it than get a chapter 91 permit and go through all that.
No, I don't mind applying every year. And I just gotta save in the computer now, so I'll do it every year,
Mhm.
so.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we have to vote on it,
Yes.
so let's make a motion,
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll
second, and third. Andy,
aye.
Nor I.
Chris Pratt, aye.
Aye.
Jerry, I, Kevin, I.
Okay,
Dennis, aye. I know it seems silly, but I've been on commissions where people have made motions and then voted against it. I guess you can do that, but just to make it sure.
yeah,
Okay.
that we're good.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
The one question I have is, will I receive the dock permit or?
Stickers, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't got anything in the mail yet. I know you said,
Oh, Gene.
Well, maybe you had to go through
Is it
this.
Send in your payment?
I didn't get anything in the mail for an application.
Oh, I think this was the one where we had, where Jacqueline sent us.
I don't know, she was never part of that.
Oh, I know, I don't know who but like, there was a mix up with the 52, 58, the address. And we talked about it on Friday. Like,
So,
You'll get your bill.
Yeah.
well, that's fine. I'll send it right in, so.
Yeah.
But, Okay.
After that process, then we get your stickers.
Okay.
Also, the applications are online too, so if you don't get it, you can just print it.
Oh, I'll just-
online.
That's
do
how
that.
I do it. I just go online.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. I didn't realize they were. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You can
Take care.
sign that.
Nice seeing you again, Dennis.
Mhm.
Here will be the minutes.
There it is. Okay, under old business, we have partial requests for certificate of compliance, lot 17, Greens East subdivision.
Is that the same one that was at the last meeting?
I believe so. We talked about the drainage and the things like that. We have some,
What day is it today?
yeah, the storm drain,
Yeah. Okay.
siltation,
You want me to say my name and address?
please.
Did you sign in?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yep, no problem. Greg Hamlin, 143 South Long Yard Road. I'm the builder over there. Brian's down at the police chief interview, so
Okay,
he told me to text him if we need him. So just kind of listened to the last meeting, met Sabrina out there, showed her that we put up silt fence, fixed the laying down silt fence, went over the old infiltration, went over the catch basin, stuff like that. Had Randy Brown out there to kind of get his input. Started the process with a plan with Rob, Randy, Sabrina. Rob was supposed to send an email. I don't know if he did or not. I was not CC'd on it, so
With the,
We got an email on that.
Yeah.
yeah, with the,
Is he on the, is Levesque on the?
Hey,
Everyone, Rob's not here, but this is Ryan from Associates.
thank you.
okay, welcome, Ryan.
Hello. Yeah, so Rob did send a summary letter to the commission. I forget when it was. I think Nina from our office was the one that sent it. Essentially explaining what you had mentioned. They'd corrected the erosion issues on those upland lots that they've been working on. And Sabrina and I had looked at those issues as well. I know a couple other issues came up. One being the basin, the stormwater basins, and obviously, you know, it's still an active project. Crestview's aware of those issues. We're aware of those issues. We're going to be working towards rectifying those. It's most likely that the basins just have a thin layer of sediment that's prohibiting the infiltration. And then another issue that came up that Sabrina had brought to our attention was the original order of conditions for this subdivision project has expired. I had talked with Crestview and I asked them, well, what's prohibiting us from applying for a certificate of compliance for the whole project? And they said that they still have some sidewalk work to do, which is in the buffer zone, which goes over that stream crossing area on this last phase of this roadway. So they still have some work to do in the buffer zone. There's still some work to do in the basins. But obviously the order of conditions has expired. So it was Rob's suggestion that perhaps a way that we can close this out without having to go through a whole new notice of intent process would be through the issuance of a friendly enforcement order for that last remaining work and correct the basins. But the matter at hand here tonight for lot 17, that lot is outside of all buffer zone jurisdiction and is very similar to the other 20 or so lots that have been given partial COCs up to this date.
How'd it look to you, Sabrina? Did they clean it up and
yeah, I have a picture,
even better?
right?
We used Armor All and everything.
I'm sure you did. So there is now a track pad installed. The road's been cleaned up.
You can see the curve.
You can see the curb now.
The Marafi over the catch basins?
You know better than me. I think I've got a different photo showing it with my shoes.
Yeah, so those
So-
are not functioning now. So it'll catch the silt before it goes.
It'll catch the silt, but they'll let the water through.
So that's done. I'm happy with that. Again, for me, I think the only issue now would be the functionality of those basins.
We put that in the enforcement order. For the,
Friendly enforcement.
Friendly enforcement.
friendly enforcement, yeah, to make sure that those cattails are taken out of there and that they're,
So,
not the basins themselves, but the
Right.
detention
to
basins.
clean them out and, cause
They're
they're
gonna
supposed to be
Probably go
maintained
through there
twice a
and blow all
year.
that out.
So Rob was explaining something like a lot of the, a lot of construction development, stuff like that, they wait till the end to do it. Because you're always gonna get that little bit of sediment that gets in there. So the maintenance, ongoing maintenance when they're working properly, yeah, is twice a year. But what he mentioned to us is, you know, regulation, not regulation, but standard practice on a new construction site would be right before the end, clean them out. Get that layer, that thin layer of silt out and, you know, and then there'll be onto the HOA for a regular maintenance program. So that's what was explained to us when we were out
Mhm.
there.
You would put that in the enforcement order, the bond wouldn't be released until that's.
Right, that'd be
There's still a bond on the property
whole
for the whole
thing.
development.
Right.
With the punch list with Randy to sign off on the street when they turn the street over, similar to the west side, when they turned the street over to the west side, it was a similar practice.
I get that, and I get that, only what if it's not the sediment that's causing the issue? How would we know?
Well, they would still have to fix it no matter what.
They're gonna
They
have
would
to
have-
go in there and suck all that sediment out of those catch basins that.
Well, the catch basins, they did,
Yeah,
Crestview did suck it out and there was like an inch or two in each of them. So there wasn't that much sediment in the catch
Not
basin.
blocking the
It
pipe.
wasn't blocking the pipe. It wasn't getting into the retention pond or anything like that. So the catch basin was working as it should. It was holding the sediment in the catch basin and allowing the water to get out. So, I mean, that part of it's working properly.
right.
They've been there for quite a few years, maybe, I don't know, I'm not environmentalist or, you know, the guy that does that, but maybe the cattails, they've been there for a long time. You know, that it's not like it was when we started phase 4, those cattails have been an issue over time.
So if you're good with it, I don't have a problem issuing a certificate of partial certificate of compliance for.
For
the-
lot 17.
And then you can work with Ryan on the friendly enforcement order.
Okay, you comfortable with that?
Yes,
Comfortable with that. Okay, make a motion, Dennis.
I'll make a motion to do what I just said.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Andy, I.
Norm, I.
Chris Pratt, aye?
Aye.
Jerry, I. Kevin,
Okay, all right,
Thank you very much.
thanks for
This is
coming
not-
in.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
You too. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, next on our agenda, we have 530 Griffin Road LPP application variance review.
that's for the, sorry, I just took the rest of it. The lot 17 partial
Oh.
certificate of
okay.
compliance.
Did I sign the minutes? I don't think I signed the minutes. Oh, we didn't do.
We
it.
didn't do them yet, that's why. Saving the best for last, Dennis.
Can you share your screen?
Meaning you want to share the screen?
Yeah.
Do you want us to share this?
I'd like to share the screen.
How do I do that?
Allow.
Allow what? I know I've done allow. Oh, wait, I think I
No,
do it.
isn't it? Share screen, there we go. There you go.
Try it now, see if that worked.
Sign this. No, I'm not sure if everybody got to get out for the two site visits at 530 Griffin Road. I'm not sure if everybody saw it. From the pictures that we saw last week, one of the things we learned in the site visit was that the state line marker had actually been moved years ago when they put the drain pipe in Suffolk. So we were a little bit confused by the fact that everything looked skewed and it wasn't. Okay, all right. However, there are no official boundary lines there that makes it very complex for people to decide where the lines are. There's no current survey. Okay? And in my eyes, the whole operation gets more complicated by the fact that we're asked to do a variance for an item that I don't believe we have authority to grant a variance. I've reread the LPP multiple times. I've reread the CMR 9.07, which the LPP comes from. And I find three areas we can grant the variance. A variance for dock length, a variance for keeping your dock in the wintertime, and a variance for less than 25 feet from your property line for your dock, but only if there's not enough land. You don't own enough land to allow 25 feet on either side of the dock. So my confusion is, do we have the authority to grant the variance? However, I think there's a solution. Do we have the Drury family is here. Do we have, is Betty Ayotte online, one of the neighbors?
I don't see her name, but that might be owner. There's someone called owner on here, so I don't know who that is. She said she was gonna Zoom,
Okay,
so that might be her.
is the association here? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hand this out. It's on the screen, and so it's a little. And what I think can happen, if the neighbors can come to an agreement, we can be satisfied that there's an agreement, and if the neighbors are happy, we're happy. And then we don't have to grant the variance. We can pass
Sure.
those down.
I don't know if I get one. I don't
No,
get one. I don't
You
get
don't
one.
count.
I don't count it.
Can I ask one of the other association members to get one of these?
Yeah, they're passing. Arm's getting. Whoever wants one.
Can you identify yourself? Nancy Drury, 530 Grissom Road. Thank you.
So we don't have any markers of where any of the property lines are there. But we have two areas that are notable. One is the actual pipe that comes down at near the state line, but maybe or maybe not on the state line. And that is on this map here as a runoff pipe.
And that's the pile of rocks right now.
That's the pile of rocks.
Mhm.
Okay, then if you go south from there, we have the brick wall. That is brick wall of Betty Ayotte's property, okay? Is it the property line or not? We do not know, okay? There's no marker there. So if we allow Nancy Drury to keep her boat and dock approximately where it was last year, okay? To the left or northeast of the pipeline. And we asked the association to move their dock to the left or south, approximately 24 feet from the runoff pipe. That would put them approximately 14 feet from the brick wall, okay? And then if Betty Ayotte agrees to always have her docks 25 feet from the brick wall, I think we have a safe navigation route for all parties, okay? And I think everybody would get what they need. They can have their dock, they can have their boats. Now, I think that the association also needs to seriously consider the deep water dock kit. That will keep your dock from swaying left or right depending upon the way the wind blows. In my eyes, that if the wind came from the right angle and the right strength, it could destroy your dock and damage your boats and possibly boats of neighbors, okay? So I would highly recommend that that's part of this deal. It's not overly expensive. I think the actual kit is $400. You might have to get pipe extensions, I'm not sure. But it's not overly expensive. So right now you do a flotation on the outer part of the dock and yeah, it's a roller dock. And you have, I believe you have some pipes halfway out that fit. So in my eyes, if the three parties involved can come to an agreement similar to this, we're happy, they're happy, and no variance has to be granted, because I don't think we have the authority to give the variance. Now, I will say that select person Diane Gale disagrees with me on whether we have the variance authority or not. But that's, I can't see it in there. So that's my proposal for a possible solution for this. And I think when I look at new share. Where'd you go? Yes, it is. Did you have screen share still on?
It didn't have changed. Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, now this is a photo from August of 22. Okay, and I don't believe the association dock is in the center there. Okay, this was the year before you put it in. And if you look at the brick wall here, and come down here to the lake, I think there's 25 feet to Betty Ayotte's dock.
Current dock,
Huh?
current dock.
I have a question.
Current dock. Sure.
My husband.
Is that you and your name,
Oh, I'm Karen Brightman, I'm part of the association.
address to it, please?
534.
Formalities.
We did ask just one person for the association to.
Oh, well, that, I don't understand how Joe can
President
represent.
Joe?
Well, I think we'll
I have a question.
Okay, yeah.
we'll let her,
No,
let her
I
speak.
just have a question, if I can be addressed, because
Yes.
this initial thing that started with this was never voted by the association. I never knew.
Yeah, we're not gonna hear any,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why we want to keep it to one person, so.
yes,
Okay. Betty Ayotte, her dock, with my husband's information, like when we bought our house, her dock is actually in the association. So I don't understand why she should have to move it. I don't know if people realize.
your dock is in the
Not
association?
mine, I'm not.
No,
Betty,
no.
Mine's
Oh,
not.
Betty Ayotte's dock.
Hers is.
She's saying that they're infringing on it, but we don't have any surveys or
Yeah,
anything.
and we're not here to
If you
hear
wanted-
that.
If you wanted to pursue that route, you would need to get a survey
Yeah, it'd
done.
be a different hearing.
Okay, but we do just want to have one
Yeah, we're-
person from the association speak, so it doesn't get complicated. Norm, were you finished, or,
Yeah, I just,
and I agree 100% with Norm, I think that's a great solution.
Mhm.
I think that, you come up with something very good here. At least for this season, if they wanna contest it for next season, then can do that, but. Do we wanna think about modifying our variances so it includes ADA in there? Can we check
Well-
with the DEP to find out?
there's something in the LPP that talks about ADA,
It does.
but it doesn't talk about this specific issue.
Well, I think that's up to discuss and.
Yeah, but.
Yeah.
Probably
I
should
think
add
every
to the
situation
variance,
can be
just have
different.
another category on there for situations, cause this isn't the first time. We had that person over at the sandbar that had, we had those issues with a while ago. Okay, a while ago.
Well, we certainly can
Look into
look
that.
into that.
Joe Scuderi, Vice President of the Association.
Yes,
You said something about the property line that's not correct. You cannot define where they are. I don't agree with that. There's 3 markers there. They were surveyed by the state. The paperwork I gave it to Sabrina. You got Marco 1, Marco 2, Marco 3. I personally ran a string from Marco 2 to number 3. Straight line to the lake. This true dock was 26 inches away from the property line, so it's not that we cannot define a property. line.
Oh, I think they did it.
Easily defined, it's there.
So, Mr. Scuderi, I think there's some disagreement with your property line determination. It's not a real survey, but there was also another site visit where the select board from Suffield, the police chief from Westfield, from Southwick, and Diane Gale, DPW all went out there and determined that that is not even close to where the property line is supposed to be.
So what you're saying is the paperwork that we got from the surveyor was wrong?
From what surveyor?
Sabrina, I submitted the paperwork to you.
Yeah.
The markers.
We submitted it like
From
last year.
from a licensed surveyor
Yeah.
or
Yes.
something that Mr.
I mean, I
Scuderi.
can get the file right now and
It's a,
look at it.
Just submitted it.
Yeah, but I think we've determined where,
We need to have pins, a
Yeah.
licensed
Right.
surveyor has to have pins in the ground. Or GPS or something, you can't. just
there
look
should
at a
be
piece of
GPS
paper.
markers, not a string.
Kind of irregardless of where the
My
pins are.
suggestion, can I suggest something? If Miss Drew moves back 10 feet over, like I suggested to her from the beginning, so she can clear the beach area, everybody's happy.
No,
But she says no.
I do say no.
Well, that's why we don't wanna
That's,
have this.
yeah, we're not
discussion.
gonna have a,
I'm saying 10
That's
feet,
the-
I think it's too.
All we're deciding on today is what we're gonna allow to happen out there. If anybody disagrees with it, they can file whatever they wanna file, but I think that this is a reasonable solution. We talked to the harbor master, we talked to the DPW, the neighbors, on either side, I believe. You're happy with this? This is.
yeah, this is fine.
So,
okay,
The one number that's missing on this is the distance from your dock to the pipe. And just so
But it,
there's clarity in the whole thing.
last
well,
year was basically right on
it was
the pipe.
right, it goes
Yeah,
right to the pipe. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I
fine,
don't
just
go
for
over the
clarity's
pipe.
sake.
In other words, I don't go over the pipe
Yeah.
Right.
and we'll, that we will have our boat floating on north side.
Mhm.
Or is it the north side?
we're calling it the,
Okay, the north side, we will
I'd
not.
say more east.
I agree, this is
We
a
will not.
great solution, but I see that as the only number missing on the whole thing.
the pipe is in the ground, that's a pin right now we can use.
That's great.
And everybody agrees that that can't be on Massachusetts property, because Connecticut put it in.
Right.
So I think, yeah. I would, make a motion if you're looking for one.
Sure.
May I speak?
Who we got?
Betty Aya?
Oh, Betty.
Okay, we were asking for you earlier.
I know, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to put my picture on here.
Oh,
But
it's okay. We
I'd
can hear
like
you.
may I want to say this. My docks are not on the association property. If the association has to move their dock over toward my wall, I'm gonna have a hardship because my docks are 12 feet and 15 feet wide. They're wooden. And I have to bring them down on a forklift and I have to bring them down sideways. So that's gonna cause me a problem and I may not be able to put my docks in. Thirdly, and not to offend anybody, but the deed for 530 Griffin Road says that the boundary is the Massachusetts boundary line. And I have a documented statement from the state of Connecticut saying exactly where the boundary line is. And it's nowhere near those rocks. And I'm upset now because my name's being brought into something that I didn't want to be involved in. And that's all I
It
have.
doesn't need to be involved. That's why we stopped the discussion on that. I agree with you.
Okay, well, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Betty's docks would have to go in before the association.
Maybe have to coordinate the,
So, would have to have an order of assembly going on over there.
Mhm.
Right, Betty's goes in first with the fork truck, and then yours can go in after.
Do we agree that's okay with you?
I think it would have to happen that way, no matter where
Yeah.
the dock is.
I don't have a problem with that, but it's my son that puts my docks in. It's a 2-hour ride from him to come up here to do it. And I usually do it between the second half of May. And I take him out in the second half of October. And I really don't want to change that because I'm working on his schedule and he's 2 hours away and he does this just for me. But if that's okay with everybody, then that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
No, I did on the second sheet, there is a letter that I did write in case people wanted to sign it, make it a little more official. But as far as I'm concerned, if the neighbors are happy with the general concept, I'm happy.
Okay, Dennis was gonna make a motion.
Excellent job of mediating, Norm. Yes, I made a motion to approve Norm's plan and his idea.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody want a second?
I'll second Norm's plan.
Okay, all in favor?
Dennis, I.
I disagree totally.
Well, you're not able to vote, so. Thank
Andy,
you.
aye.
Nor am I,
Chris Pratt, aye.
but I.
Jerry, I. Kevin, I.
Okay,
Do you want me to sign it? Thank you. What do want me
you
to
can
do?
sign it, but it should be signed by all to make it,
I just don't need, I just need a pen.
that will work, wouldn't it?
So who facilitates the signing? There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right,
So just,
you are all set.
I'm all set.
Yeah,
So I can have my doc.
where is?
And I can get my stickers. for my
Yeah,
doc.
you should be, yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
did.
it's, we have, the other, you were gonna withdraw, I think, a float or something?
No, we have a float and a dock. The second, we're not gonna put in the second dock.
Okay, that's what, there was a second dock, you had,
We're not putting it. in.
okay. And you weren't sure the swim float, but you are gonna keep.
We have the swim float.
Okay,
Okay. it's not-
So do you want me to initial that?
Yeah.
this is the this is what we got this year?
Yeah, you're asking for 2 docks.
No, they're wanting
Only
one.
one.
Okay, so that has to be changed. Now you're asking for a mooring. You're asking for a
We-
swim
Well,
flow.
those were on the original.
Those are on the original.
Well, that's what I mean. The application is wrong, so you need to fill out a corrected application for what you want.
And then
On
those
your
are supposed to be
property.
numbers.
Yeah, and it's number of structures or vessels. You got yes, no, no.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
So
so just a reapplication, it
Yeah.
shouldn't take long to do that,
just, yeah,
and the rest of this should be the same
yeah, that's fine.
So I just need a front page is what you're saying.
cover sheet,
Cover sheet. Okay, I'll have it in the office for tomorrow.
okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Norm.
Good job, Norm. Thank you.
So, and it's
Mhm.
it's getting signed by them.
Sure.
Does that need to be mailed to them or something to sign it?
I don't,
Do we have Joe? Joe was just here.
he's not gonna sign it.
they wanted to. My impression is
they
didn't want to sign it.
Yeah.
I agree.
These two are not signing.
So
That doesn't.
what do I do? with
Doesn't
it?
change anything. That was just, that was a formality.
Just hold on to it, yeah.
Yep,
Should it go in with the LPP?
application, sure. I
Do
think
you
we.
want do you want it right now?
Okay. Jeff, yes. All right. Noble Sea subdivision. Update. Request for extension of order conditions. Be careful, Dennis, it's poison.
I also asked Randy and John to be here. In case there was questions about, yeah, John, you wanna
You want to look at it?
about the timeline that was put in
Determined by-
with the DPW planning. So we're all on the same page, so if you want to ask questions to John or Randy about the timeline.
The coordination, order of processes and.
Yes.
All right,
Well, I just have a question about 401 water quality certification, whether that's
Okay, so,
the deed restriction. That's
Yeah.
been the big holdup, not conservations, it's
Right.
deed restrictions.
am I supposed to say my name?
yes.
Yeah.
Reintroduce yourself
Yeah,
every time.
Jeff Smith, Sylvania Associates, here for, Salt Marsh Brothers for the Noble Steed subdivision. So with the 401 water quality, we have a conference call scheduled for Thursday afternoon with, Tom, I'm not sure how you say his last name. And he's gonna go over it with us, with Steve Salvini, myself, Sabrina's gonna be on the call as well. Anybody
Great.
else that would like to be on it? I think it would be productive to have us just kind of work collaboratively and get the information we need and move forward. The calculations I've done, we're below the threshold we're below 5,000 square feet for the Army Corps permit, and we're below 100 cubic yards, if I'm correct. On the water quality, we're at about 80 cubic yards at the most for what has been and needs to be removed to put this culvert in. So, we may be below the threshold. If the water quality permit is what we need to do to move this forward, whether we're below the threshold, if that's what we need to do, but I think that's the best way to move forward instead of banging our head and saying, no, we're below the threshold. So,
So having said that, we can move forward with the amendment. Was that gonna be first before continuation?
Yeah, we do the amendment and then the extension, and then the 401 water quality is separate.
Do we have an amendment to look at? Or-
Sort of. It's a good question. Did you finalize the plans yet?
we don't have the finalized
Okay.
plans. No, I did not hear back from Jesse today. I asked him if he had any updates on it. I didn't hear back. I'll reach out again tomorrow. I think that there was a lot of answers to be,
So we have-
questions to be
So
answered.
we advertise the amendment for the next meeting? Is that, it was supposed to be advertised? We're doing amendments?
So it's up to you guys.
Does the neighbors concerns and stuff, it might be the
I think
best.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, so
that's
if
why
that's
if
what
you-
you want to do, then we would have to publicize for a. Is it a
Next
public
public
hearing?
meeting.
Let me just double check.
We can vote on the continuation.
We need a newspaper notice. And then for a public hearing, and then also the abutters need to be notified.
Yeah.
This is for an amendment?
This is for the amendment, if that's what the commission, so there's 3 tiers. One is that, and this is for our local bylaw. One tier is that the changes, there's a significant departure from the original proposal, and then a whole new notice of intent needs to be done. The second one is that there's a moderate departure from the original proposal, and you would need a public hearing as well as the abutters need to be notified. And then there's the third one where the changes represent an insignificant change from the original proposal. And then that, the amendment can be done, basically just a written approval by the commission. So those are the 3 tiers.
We don't know which category those fall in yet, 'cause we haven't seen
Well,
them.
Yeah,
All the answers,
I don't-
yeah, think.
I don't think that there's major changes on it.
You
He
think it's
initially,
insignificant?
in the big picture, I do, because he initially had a box culvert plan to be put in there. His plans were kind of vague. He's getting some detail added to him. He's still planning a box culvert. He's still planning to construct the box culvert, not bring in a prefab one. I think that's because of the length of the structure. So I don't see the changes as being significant in the overall, definitely not significant in the impact. In the overall design, the change in grade is not changing at all. So there's no additional clearing needed. There's no additional resource areas lost. It,
So we
it does seem
compromise
like
to
it's,
Advertise it and post it on the agenda and not, because it doesn't say if the butters from the actual work or from the subdivision. You know, it's 100 feet of butters from the actual work, and I would say we could just compromise and.
I have a question. So he's not doing a precast
it's not.
because of, it's a span?
I think it's because of the span.
So my only concern is how he's still gonna pour that.
Yeah.
How are they going to shore it and pour it and not be trampling through and disturbing everything like?
Part of that is gonna be
There
the
is-
engineering plan.
Yeah.
That's what we're waiting to see.
I know, that's what, but I'm
Need to
saying
make
we
sure
need to
that
look
doesn't-
at that as how they're gonna do that. When they pour concrete, they're spraying, stuff on their forms to keep stuff from, so they can strip it and all those chemicals that are gonna use. Like there is precast, this other solutions in box culvert. They have arch bridges that you can do.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So that's my only concern would be pouring it could be a nightmare for the whole construction of it. We would have to see how they're gonna do it. And I think it's gonna be very
Precast,
hard
right?
to do something that's not precast, in my mind.
John, have you discussed that with Randy as far as the actual structure?
Jeff's report's accurate in that they've been, as reported through Jesse, they've engaged a structural engineer to prepare documents. Jesse's shared draft information from the structural engineer for, we'll call it preliminary review comments through DPW. But the design has not yet been finalized.
I just think showing and forming that is gonna be very hard to do in the field, spanning a bridge rather than doing precast.
I agree with you on the complication. I will talk to Jesse tomorrow and see specifically what is his.
Specifically in Suffolk on Bridge Street, there was a subdivision we did and the span was too much for box culvert. It was a 40-foot span, but they used an arched bridge. It was concrete precast.
I know that. Nice.
Yeah.
It was a nice bridge.
I don't think.
This span isn't
Yeah.
that much, but what
No.
I'm saying is there's still,
Yep.
there's still plenty of precast options is my only thing.
I will talk to him about this and I'll get some answers and maybe I'm gonna have to be talking to the
Yeah.
engineer also. I understand the misgivings about pouring it in place and I understand the benefits of a precast.
Yeah.
Um,
And we've just seen some of the issues ongoing there precast.
Yeah,
Once you know you're getting
Completed.
something.
We don't need
Yeah.
any more problems. If we can
Complications
avoid
or
it, I
not.
agree with Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
it's a good point. So I'll
insight.
bring that
Yeah.
up with the.
Anybody have any questions for John? Or as far as time frame?
I can see everybody.
What is our time frame looking like, John, as far as the project? What's he looking at as far as, or
Jesse,
were you looking for him to do, I should say?
the developer submitted schedule, has things mapped out for conclusion this calendar year. Targeted of, November 4th, the closure of work
Okay,
for, I'm gonna call it strictly the remaining infrastructure. And some corrective actions, have been folded into that. But that's
Okay.
the plan thus far. It's fair to say that there's an understanding that, oh, that's the plan. Sometimes we have to shuffle a few cards around.
Yeah.
You know, the planning
Right.
board, agreed to the schedule, in the spirit in which it was submitted. To determine that being,
Yeah.
we'll call it the responsive action,
right.
from the developer. So, if there's delay for just cause, then so be it, but the target is this year, as submitted by Mr. Saltmarsh.
Okay. I mean, I think just on him pretty well about as far as buttoning up some of the eroded areas and getting them seeded and
I think,
less erodible.
I think
So
it's very positive, that there's a,
Yeah.
erosion control monitor and coordinator, attending these meetings.
Does it take a long time to get a precast? Is there a long waiting period?
I would assume that there's a whole engineering aspect to that too, yeah.
Right.
That's not like something,
I'll bring it up with him tomorrow I'll call first thing in the morning and.
I mean, I'm not saying that you can't, I don't even know what we have to say, you have to do this or that, I'm just saying.
Well, it
We've
does
had a
bring
lot
up,
of issues.
it does
and-
bring up those issues and, you know, as far as how we determine our level,
Yeah,
that might be a big.
Seeing there's no order of conditions valid right now, we got
Right.
pretty much a
yeah.
wide open
Yeah,
But I'm just
jurisdiction.
like, you know, it's
leverage.
not like there's been no issues ongoing with the project, you know, so I'm just saying like,
One.
yeah, is it feasible? Yes, but it's gonna complicate things pouring it rather than precast.
And since that is one of the changes, that might bump it up.
Two butters.
The butters and a notice.
Two butter notifications, the ones on each side.
I'm not really exactly sure if it's the development or if it's just the butters on each side.
It says increase potential erosion, so I would say that would do. Increase the size or change of location of structure, I don't think that would change. The amount of vegetation to be removed, maybe,
I think it's just from the project area itself.
Okay.
Not from the subdivision.
Right, so it'd be probably the two houses on the west side, the two houses. Or one house on the east side, and it'd be on the southeast side of the crossing.
Sounds good.
Okay, so
I think it's usually
three, and then
200 feet or 100.
public.
The wrong impression last time when he said that he had.
The 100, I thought, but then like,
Lined up
that's not that far.
And it was, you know, time sensitive.
100 feet, but not that far.
He did say it was time sensitive. He didn't say he was lined up and ready to go, but
Okay.
he's waiting on plans from the engineer. I think that his plans were to take some critical information and
Ready to go in.
that,
All right, all right.
when the plans started getting reviewed,
I must have misunderstood.
I
You've
think
been
that there
notified
was some
of that.
shortcomings.
Yeah.
Not shortcomings, that's not the correct word. There was some information that needed to be clarified
Mhm.
and, as far as other stuff, he is gonna work on, sidewalks that need to be completed. He's got some green space on the easterly side. There's a area that had been grubbed out that he should be, at this point now, he can put some topsoil down and get that seeded. He may be able to use some of the material he pulls out of there that's not. I don't suspect there's a lot of hydric soil in there, so I think it's gonna be mostly sand and gravel he'll be taking out. Maybe he can use some of that and top dress that would get that stabilized up there. He gets a lot of erosion off that bank.
Mhm.
Um,
Any idea, timeframe for curbing?
I will ask him.
I had someone ask me.
Okay. I will get curbing and sidewalk updates. So that you can let the residents that are questioning, I know there's a few that are asking questions.
You're saying they could work in the buffer area with an enforcement order, is that what we're saying?
I don't know if that was brought up, but did you want to bring that up?
Well, if they wanted, we don't wanna hold you up, if there's work in the buffer area they wanna do. We could do it under it,
That's legal.
like we're doing for.
Yep.
Camels.
Very good, so I'll tell them work in the
Okay.
100-foot buffer.
He's gonna get another enforcement order from me.
Friendly one.
Friendly one.
Is
It's,
anyone
it's
not
permission without
friendly?
permission.
We don't wanna hold up this project, we wanna get it. done,
Right,
Right.
But we wanna make sure we don't have any more problems
In
along
the
the
big
way.
picture, we want to see things happen.
No, it's complex, it needs to be done right.
Right.
No disagreement there.
and the replication,
That,
do you want to update them on the replication at all?
oh, so the replication is. I had gone back and forth about better locations, and I finally did decide that the easterly side was best. And I'm probably gonna move it to the north a little bit. It'll probably overlap where it is, but it's more likely to be like this. And the reason for that is there's a lot of mature trees in here that would have to be cut. There's less trees here.
Okay.
And also access from lot 15, which is now cleared, there's a construction road or a driveway up here that he can, driveway's actually here. He could come down the slope without having to cut a lot of trees and it would have less impact on the whole area because it is more open, it's not as steep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
Did you talk to Jesse about that?
yes, I did.
So he's
Yeah.
gonna hold off on building the house until then, or is
I
is there
just
room?
told him that we were gonna be coming in on lot 15.
Okay.
And that's it, so, that's, he didn't seem concerned about it at all, so I think he knows he wants to get it done and
Mm-hmm.
that's the easiest way to do it, so.
Okay.
I think I've covered everything for, Noble Street. So, can I give you any updates on Oak Ridge, if there's any questions on that while I'm here? Or do you want me to wait till
Sure.
later?
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
You guys did a
Well,
site visit?
We went, Matt and I went out on a site visit. Then Jeff showed us some things, you know, we looked at the silt fences. There was some sediment that was coming down into that area you asked me to look at, but they're in place and I thought they were in decent shape. They were doing their job, but
Silt
they
fences?
might need to get cleaned out. It was rainy and muddy and that was not a good day. Yeah, it was, you know, so we didn't spend the whole day there, but we did go look at, you know, some of our key spots and, you know, everything seemed to be working out okay. As far as what he's agreed to do and what's happening. But, you know, as we discussed that silt fence may need to get reestablished a little bit better because
We're supposed to get another big downpour on Wednesday and Thursday. And see what
could be
happens.
snow.
Yeah, tomorrow, the day
Yeah,
after,
And then
that's right, like-
and then another touch of winter,
Right.
almost 4 inches of rain,
Yeah.
4 seasons in.
Well, I mean, when we were up there last, it was ice on the trees. So.
Yeah.
Too much rain.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your.
And Jeff had everything else re-flagged up there as I wanted to bring that into. So, remarked and.
All right, very good. Thank you. everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, John.
Thanks for coming down,
Yeah,
John.
my pleasure. Nice to see everybody. Yeah. Take care. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Next we have discussion of having a member of Southwick Conservation being liaison to the Suffield Conservation Commission.
You have the,
Yours?
the
gotta-
form, the printout in your folder,
Yep.
it's the last one.
Yeah. Put in a couple typos, I
Those are forgivable.
put together what I think I was asked to do and there were some of the things.
And then some.
Yeah.
And then some.
Beyond the call of duty.
Yeah.
definitely.
And I didn't, when I brought this up, I didn't mean to imply it had to be me. I'd be glad for someone else to volunteer.
Well,
But, oh no, this is just for future event. If you can't do it in the future,
Yeah,
would have something to go by,
yeah.
but I would nominate Norm.
yeah, I mean, you seem to have the desire, the time, you know.
Yeah. Understanding,
Yep.
experience.
We meet twice a month, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. on the second and fourth Thursdays, or Tuesdays of the month. Just once a month in the summer months.
Yeah, I think it's something that, like I said, I've been hoping to be able to establish with Suffield because we do have so many, I wouldn't say issues around the lake, but projects that we're unaware of, and we look at and say,
I would make a motion to adopt this as the definition, template definition.
work in progress kind of.
For liaisons, any liaison for the commission.
Okay,
Second one.
all in favor?
Andy, I.
Norm, I.
Chris, I.
I'd second it.
Jerry, I.
It's okay.
Kevin, I.
All right. And so I'd like to nominate Norm to be our liaison to the Suffield Conservation Commission.
I'll second that.
Okay, we'll go around the table again.
Dennis, I.
Andy, I.
Norm, I.
Chris, I.
Jerry, I.
Kevin, I.
All right.
I have a question.
And here's a little something for Norm.
Merry Christmas.
You're waiting to-
That's from 2005. I was cleaning out my library as of the last 3, 4, 5 days. And all these weird things are popping up, so I think you'll appreciate that.
Okay.
Is this,
Go
oh,
through it.
does this need to go in front of the select board at all? Like, what's the process with a liaison? Is it just internally for us? to
Yeah.
File this away somewhere?
I would say yes.
You're the chair.
I would say yes.
Chair said yes.
And it's not a formal position. He's volunteering to do it,
Okay,
Yeah,
and it's informational, it's,
Probably should give a copy to the select board just to.
yeah, let them know, we need to let them know. That we're moving.
I mean, it's a
forward with
topic that we've been talking about forever.
Great
Right.
idea,
Yeah,
yeah.
so-
And every time I
It's one
get a
of the-
call or something and see something over on the Suffield side, I call Dennis would get in touch, but it's reactive. I don't wanna be reactive all the time.
Yeah.
Proactive is the best way.
Mhm.
Dennis would call over and say, hey, what's going on?
It went back and forth
Yeah.
quite a while before anything got resolved.
Yeah,
Now, do they have any opinion on this, the Suffield folks?
we'll
Not
see.
yet.
We're gonna find out, right?
Just remember,
Well-
Norm, be nice.
I will,
Well, in fact, the Band-Aid, what do you think?
Stormin, I'm the
Storm and
liaison.
Norman. Okay,
Pretty.
good.
Oh.
Thank you, Norm.
faces.
All right, moving on. Yeah, for request for permission to access Openowski property. Yeah.
No update,
Okay, Greenville Gorge kiosk roof,
no update,
North Pond Conservation Property, recyclables.
no update.
Discuss on docks not completely removed from the lake. Kind of late for that now, but I mean, do we have any enforcement or fine issuances?
anything from
So,
Frank Grillo?
no, Mr. Grillo he got his warning, his fine started. So,
Okay, Noble Steed update, we did.
yep,
107 South Loomis Street, possible wetland violation.
no update.
And more Vining subdivision, possible wetland violation.
You did the update.
Yeah, and then we have possible wetland violation, 31 Sam West Road.
I asked Ryan to give me an update and he did not.
Okay,
Do you want me to scratch out more Vining subdivision, possible wetland violation?
yeah,
Oh. Next meeting is May 6th.
Wow, okay.
There's a holiday on the 15th.
All right. Long weekend.
Is this for me? Is that it?
That's yours?
Yay,
I have more,
present.
if anybody cares to have it. I don't know if you still wanna keep record of
2012, get that.
Tucker.
This is probably a
There's a
copy.
wetland
This is a-
certification involved in that one.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
Minutes.
Oh, minutes.
Oh, minutes. Ooh, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I got a question.
Okay.
Oh.
Sorry,
Don't-
on 530 Griffin, I did not abstain.
You didn't?
No,
I thought you did.
I had abstained that one other time for Mr. Grillo.
Oh.
Time I ever abstained from anything.
No problem. All right, thank you for rectifying the situation.
Good.
All right,
Wow.
We need
Now you-
signatures.
Motion adjourned.
second.
Dennis,
Dennis did the
Dennis
motion.
did the motion, I.
Oh, we didn't accept the minutes yet?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We approved the minutes.
It's a bunch of stuff on the.
All in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're good.
More stuff?
There's more stuff. It's, I mean,
Dennis,
Mike-
Matt,
if it's useful, keep, you don't want it, throw it out.
all in favor of adjourning?
Just figured I'd bring. it.
Aye.